Yeah, nobody.
as our participants have dropped off.
Yeah.
So the 928, it's good. How did
Yeah,
you like switching from Android?
it's pretty painless, really.
What uh, what was your biggest problem with it? Would you say?
I don't know.
With switching, that is.
All of it.
I had to get a new phone.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that bad. Put in your Google account and it just worked, I guess. There wasn't really anything super painful about it.
And you don't have any problems with the apps yet?
No.
The supposedly very lacking app store you don't have a problem with?
Well, I I understand the complaints. There's a lot of major stuff out there that don't have apps yet. Like Mint.com doesn't have an app, but they have promised
What.com?
one. Huh?
What.com?
Mint?
Oh, Mint. Oh, gotcha.
But they've basically promised one out by the end of the year, so they're working on it. I I don't know. I don't think there's like an Instagram app or anything like that. But I mean,
Actually, there's a third-party app that hit the store today for Instagram.
yeah. But
I
we're
don't use
talking. A
Instagram.
lot of people complain that there's no first party, if you want to call it that, apps. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but
there's like Shazam. There's SoundHound. There's
you don't even need Shazam.
huh?
You don't even need Shazam. You don't need Shazam
Why not?
because the phone already does it.
Does it keep a list of stuff that I've tagged?
I have no idea.
I didn't know the phone already did it.
Um, I don't know. I don't think it does keep a list of what you've listened to or what you've tagged. But yeah, if you hit the search key and then hit the one that looks like a music note, it listens to music
Oh, I use
and
this
then
page all the time.
yeah, the search page is actually really, really good.
I do it for barcodes.
Yeah, so you can hit the eye and you can scan barcodes and QR codes and stuff
I
like
don't think
that.
I've ever pressed the little music note.
And the music one just does the same thing as Shazam. But the only difference I know of, because Derek said he uses Shazam, but it doesn't give you lyrics, which Shazam does. I
Oh,
didn't
I don't
know.
give a shit about lyrics.
And then if you tag stuff, which I also don't do, I
I'm,
guess it doesn't do
I'm,
that.
I'm gonna try it.
All right.
Guess that song.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Can you tag it?
It picked it up. I don't think I. It didn't. It just shows it. I don't think it. Hold on. I'll
No,
do it again.
doesn't save it for you.
Do a different one. Yep.
Nice. So anyway, you don't need Shazam.
I don't think it saves it. It just.
I don't
Well,
think so.
I do need Shazam and SoundHound because it keeps a historic list.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you
I
use it
use
to
that
save
shit
it,
all the
yeah.
time because I'll tag like, "Hey, get out of here! Get the fuck out of here!" I'll, I'll tag stuff, and then I'll forget that I did it, and then I'll remember I did it days later, and be like, "Oh yeah, I tagged that
Uh,
song the other day. I'm gonna go look it up."
yeah. Very rarely do I ever sit there listening to music and say, "Oh, I wonder what this song is."
I do all the fucking time.
I don't. I have.
But
Where
anyway,
are you? Where are you listening to music where you don't know what the song is?
the car.
Doesn't your car tell you?
Sometimes I don't want to wait.
What do you mean you don't want to wait?
What do you mean? Does my car tell me? You
My
mean
car.
smart radio?
No, my car just tells me what's playing on the radio.
Yeah, so does mine.
Okay.
But that's not fucking saved anywhere. I can't say, hey, car, tell me what I listened to yesterday.
That would
Jesus
be a
Christ.
really cool feature, actually.
Um, but anyway, I've found that most of the... I don't know if this is going to be a true statement. I feel that most of the people that complain about there being a lack of apps are people that want to play all the games that they had on their iPod or some shit. And
That could
I
be true.
frankly couldn't give two shits
About
about a
games.
goddamn game on my phone. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't do it.
I agree.
It has all the lifestyle apps that I've wanted.
The only place that I feel like they're lacking is in productivity apps, but I feel like they're quickly catching up. Like you
Like
said,
what?
Mint's not there, and
Yeah,
there's,
that's not on there, but they're supposed to.
but I
Blah.
mean, it's not like there aren't alternatives either. Like I don't use Mint, but I track my services using something, or I track my expenses using Lemon Wallet instead.
Well, but does it connect to like all your bank accounts and loans and shit?
No, it
Because
doesn't because I
Mint
don't
is
care.
like the pinnacle of that.
Right,
Have you
right.
used it before?
No, I haven't.
It's crazy. Like, it's kind of scary, actually.
Does it tie into credit cards too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I tied it to the organization that houses my HSA and my 401k and stuff, and it pulls down all that information.
That's pretty impressive, actually. Don't you have to pay for it though?
No,
Oh, that's all free?
it's completely free. I don't know if they have a paid version or not.
Hmm. I thought at one point in time they.
In fact, I don't know why the fuck it's free.
That
I
seems
don't
like
know. That's a good question. How the fuck are they making their money?
I was just gonna say, how are they? How what is their business model?
How is Mint.com? How is Mint free?
Well, I guess they're owned by Intuit. It looks like.
Oh, I forgot they did that. Mint
So
makes
yeah.
unbiased recommendations for ways you can save on things like credit cards, home loans, and insurance. Sometimes we get paid a small fee when you switch to a new bank or company, which helps keep our basic service free. So
Hmm.
they have a advanced service?
I have no idea.
Like they give you they because they know your spending habits, which a lot of
Yeah.
people won't. A lot of people don't like the fact that one person can analyze your spending habits. Um, they can give
Yeah.
you suggestions on like, oh well, the 401k you currently have has an ass ton of fees that you pay. Maybe you should
Oh,
be putting that money into somewhere else that doesn't have so many fucking fees.
how hard is it to set up?
Not hard at all.
Why the? Why am I not using this? Dude, there's an article on their main page just that says what's free and it says how is Mint free.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to find out if they have a paid version.
Huh. I might actually. I remember looking at Mint like a long, long time ago, like when it first came out, maybe, and it was not. It didn't do all of this.
It's come a long way.
Because I mean, all I'm doing right now is I just take pictures of my receipts, and Lemon just scans my receipts and puts my money. It just tracks what I spend. But if this ties into credit cards and banks and investments, it looks like, and everything.
So, I mean, obviously the downside to something like this is you're putting your passwords and email addresses and shit
Into
into one
one.
basket.
Yeah, they claim they're secure.
Well, everybody claims they're secure.
Hmm.
But it's now owned by, apparently by Intuit, which makes
Yeah,
Quicken and TurboTax.
they make yeah TurboTax and like the Quicken. Quicken Loans and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
Quicken and TurboTax, I'm pretty sure those tie into your bank accounts and shit too.
I would assume so.
I think. I don't know. I've never used it.
I'd be curious to see how they store your passwords
No idea.
because I mean they say that you can't it's a read-only service, but I mean if they're I wonder how they store your passwords. Like if someone hacked it, could they get into your passwords? Obviously they can't transfer money, but if they got your passwords, they could go to your bank. But
Right. Which would be bad.
which would be bad. So I'd be curious how they did that.
That'd be real bad.
Um, so 928 has enough apps. I feel like
I think it's fantastic. Right? The battery life is great. The hardware is good. I never drop my phone, and I've dropped this phone like 4 times since I got it, which is really bad.
I think that there is. I don't know. I've had this discussion with multiple people before, and like I think seems to be a common theme is like people following or purchasing a phone based on the handset manufacturer.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's not very likely that people will stay with a manufacturer with Android, but I think people recognize Nokia, and I think it's driving some people to purchase Windows Phone just because it's by Nokia.
Because, well, some people are loyal to manufacturers.
Some people are, but I mean,
I'm not.
I feel like the what's the word I'm looking for?
I feel like it's a very well-made phone. My only major complaints are aligned with whatever everybody else has complained about. Sometimes they don't have an app. It's not a big deal anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, but you should do an analysis of that kind of thing when you're going to buy a phone, though. Like, you just can't take it for granted that
All your apps will
if
be there.
Instagram is the thing that you use,
It might not be the best choice, yeah.
right. But, I mean, other stuff, like, yeah, there's a Facebook app. It's kind of sucky.
Are you
The
using the
official
beta
Facebook app. I mean, it works, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it's updating like it should. I mean, but it's not bad.
Are you using the beta version or the regular version?
The what?
The beta version or the regular version?
There's 2 different versions.
Facebook has a beta version of its app, and it's
Oh, I didn't know that.
significantly better than its regular version.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Son of a bitch. How do I make that happen?
I think you have to go to a special site.
Shit. All the Nokia apps, by the way, are really good.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Like, the Nokia Drive app is fantastic. It kicks ass.
Oh, yeah. I love the Nokia Drive app. It's really, really good. I was going to say, Nokia and Microsoft, I think, have done a good job, though, of putting apps onto other platforms that will scan your app list and then tell you how many of your apps are going to be available on Windows Phone 8.
Oh, really? That's not a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Because I know, like, I think Derek did it on his phone, and it's like, it came back, it was like 80% or something like that were available on Windows Phone when he was looking to switch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it is in the Windows Phone store. You should be able to just search for Facebook Beta, I think. Or
Alright,
I'm
let's
linking
check.
it right there.
Damn it, that doesn't help me. Does it take the place of my current one?
No, it gives you a second app.
Facebook. I'm looking at it. All I see is Facebook. What's the name of it?
Facebook Beta.
How the hell is this not like the top result? What?
Hmm.
Should be second result. I don't see it. It's not showing up in the
Yeah.
Windows Phone search.
I seem to remember having to do something weird in order to get it to work.
Well, you can install. I'm super glad you can install apps from.
The web.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually what I had to do. Is I actually maybe that's what I did. Did it from this page.
That's what I'm gonna do right now.
It gets updated a lot faster than the regular app does.
Yeah. Install. Let's go.
But no, I was talking with.
Plus, I like being able to develop for the phone.
That's true. If you know it.
I do.
Which I think Microsoft has made pretty easy for people to develop for both Windows Phone and Windows 8 in general.
Yeah, it's really easy.
But what I was saying is that like um, Beth was looking at getting a new phone, and she remembers having a Nokia. She's been through BlackBerry, she's had an HTC Android, but she's like, oh well, now that Nokia has a new phone out, I remember how awesome my Nokia was.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that their mid-range to low-range phones are dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Like she was looking at the 521, the Lumia 521 for T-Mobile. It's $150 off contract.
Yeah. I mean, before the 1020 came out, this was like the flagship Nokia phone.
Yeah, it
And
was.
it was, what, $100?
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, none of the Nokia phones have really been priced as a premium device until the 1020.
Right. I think the hardware's pretty good.
I would
I
love
mean,
that
it's
at some point.
lacking. Like a lot of Android people would complain probably because it's isn't it only a dual core device?
Yeah. If
Right.
you're into specs, then yes, it does
Well,
not have the
right,
best
but the
specs.
phone has
It
this
doesn't need it.
OS on this phone has felt faster than any other phone I've ever used
That's the point, isn't it?
because it's made to run on it.
I mean, isn't that what everybody is kind of getting towards right now? Is that
Yeah, I don't
they're
I don't need a quad core
right,
processor in my Windows Phone device. This thing operates faster than like I mean Pat's like a he's a nut for whatever phone he has, and it's a nice phone
the
and it's really
one? Yeah,
fast. But I'd say my phone's just as fast as his is.
yeah,
Like it has no problem keeping up. I've used both, not extensively.
yeah. I mean, things have obviously become more, and I don't know. Apple, you could probably argue, has been the spearhead in this argument, but making a device more and more about the quickness of the experience, not how big and bad of a processor you can put into it,
Well, Apple's very good at that.
and which they are. I think Microsoft has had really, really good success for not manufacturing their own devices. Granted, they mandate a lot of the specs that phones can have, but they're not the only ones making it either.
Get your toast out of my face.
Speaking of, so Ballmer is retiring from Microsoft.
Yeah,
Good? Bad?
I don't know.
I was talking with Jerry. He was like, good, get him out of there. And I'm like, why? Jerry just said he's terrible.
Since when does Jerry care?
I, because it's not Apple.
Hmm.
I don't know, I think everyone gives Ballmer a bad rep because he might not be the most likable guy in the company, but he certainly isn't the worst person for the company. He was definitely a good CEO in terms of business, except for Vista.
I never paid attention really.
Well, what is there to pay attention to? He's been there for what, like 10 years as CEO? And Microsoft has continued to make more money than is humanly possible.
But how much of that is him doing anything?
Well, I would assume if he was actively hurting the company, he would
Yeah,
not be making money.
I suppose.
I mean, the only bad product launch he's had is Vista.
A lot of people would argue that the Surface RT was a bad product launch.
Oh, maybe, I suppose. But yeah, I think Microsoft got caught in changing of technology with the Surface RT,
I think it's doing exactly what they want it to do.
which is
Hopefully, people keep buying it, and it just keeps getting better.
okay. Yeah, that's
Like,
obviously what they would want it to do.
okay, where did I read this article the other day? Like they've kept discounting the prices and all that shit, and once they get you into their ecosystem, that's where they want you.
Well, yeah, that's
Like
true.
I love my RT. I use it all the time.
Yeah,
But the people that would be pissed off at it would be people that bought it thinking it was a fucking laptop.
yeah, and that's part of their marketing strategy that I don't think was very clear.
But it does everything a freaking iPad does. So I don't know if you have a complaint about an iPad, or every complaint you have for the Surface RT should probably be leveled at the iPad as well.
Yeah. Well, and I
Unless
think
it's aesthetic.
their latest commercials I think are much better than what their original ones were, where it was just a bunch of people dancing around.
Those commercials were stupid.
And now it is Surface RT versus the iPad, and that's exactly
Yeah,
the market that they
that's
should be
what it
going
needs to
after.
be. That's how they should have approached it from the beginning.
Yeah, that was always supposed to be its market, and I don't know why they. I feel like they just got confused by what they were trying to do. Someone probably got confused about the naming at Microsoft and said, "Oh fuck, I fucked that one up."
Yeah.
But I mean, what is it now? I think I just saw a commercial tonight. 350 for the 16 gig Surface versus what is it? 500 for an iPad. And they're showing it off by having a kickstand, a USB port, and a keyboard, which I'd say are pretty
I mean, what do
important.
people? Oh, again, if all you do is sit on your iPad and fucking play games and shit, which is a legitimate use, but that's not what I use mine
I
for.
would not spend $500 on an iPad just to play games, but
People would.
it happens.
I mean, there's games to play. I have games on mine.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I hate playing games on my phone.
So I had a. Let me look through my apps.
I've got 3 games, and they are all very low level, not graphic intensive puzzle games. Because the
Yeah.
problem is, I don't want to sit on my phone and have it draining 20% of my battery in 10 minutes.
All right.
And
Guess how many games I have.
5.
I have one,
Well, that's impressive.
and it's FIFA.
Oh,
Like fully fledged.
yeah, yeah,
The Xbox Live version or whatever the hell it is, the arcade or whatever the fuck
yeah.
you call it. FIFA
But
13, and it's great. Like, I mean, it looks like FIFA.
the other problem I have with phone games, though, too, is like, if I'm playing a game on my phone, it's usually while I'm waiting to do something. And so I don't have 20 minutes to sit down and play a game in that example, FIFA. Because I'm not going to sit and play on a game on my phone on my couch.
Oh, I've played it like twice.
Yeah. If I'm going to play, I just need a game that I can play for like 2 minutes and then just be able to quit it whenever.
Yeah. I've never like the games I had on my Android device were all like you said puzzle type stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember. I played a lot of what the fuck's it called? Some form of solitaire. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh. But yeah, a
Played
card
a lot of
game.
that. But anyway, taking
Anyway,
me 20 minutes to talk about how I have no major complaint.
um, so yeah, so Ballmer's retiring. I don't know if anyone. So in any case,
John says no games on phones unless they're silly mind games.
yes. Um,
It's just not something I do.
it's not something I do
I
either.
mean, yeah, if I have time to kill and I have my phone on me, I'll pull up like one of the subreddits I want to read or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say in most cases, if I've got time to kill, I just pull up something to read.
Yeah.
Um, so did you hear about this though about Microsoft hiring Jason Holtman?
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who made Steam great, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
So apparently they hired him when we're not really sure why, but as you may know, they shut down games for Windows Live.
Yeah. Has anybody talked about whether Gabe and this guy saw eye to eye on things?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Well, Gabe was very outspoken about Windows' future and how he wasn't a fan of the way they were going.
I think that was just a, but yes, I remember hearing about that.
I mean, remember hearing about it. That was a big deal. Like one of the top people in the gaming world has been pretty active in saying Windows 8 is not cool. John
I don't
keeps
know.
me shit.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, what is even if he didn't see eye to eye, why would he go to Microsoft? Because Microsoft said, "Hey, come make a digital distribution platform for us
I don't know.
instead and compete against your old company."
I'll tell you though, I don't need another goddamn digital distribution platform.
I mean, that's the problem is I think everyone can agree we're tired of distribution platforms.
All right, John says Windows 8 blows.
He hasn't even used it.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm talking about John Schultz.
Has he used it?
I don't know. I assume so. Usually he's not one to make a claim of Windows 8
Wait,
blows.
why the hell? Oh man, why is he not in here then?
I don't know. Money, dollar
John,
sign.
I am adding you.
Get him in here. I want his take on Windows 8, I guess. Because I like it.
I like it as well. I'd say
I don't like some of the choices, like the whole fucking Metro-ness, whatever the hell it's called, in your face, but I'm never in there anyway. I'm always on the desktop.
yeah, I always sit on my desktop too, and yeah, sometimes when I hit my Windows key to search for a program, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I get over it really quickly. Because once I hit enter, it just launches my be back to the desktop.
What's he doing? Get him in here. Fail plugin, he says. Working on it. Maybe if he was on a Windows 8 machine.
He'd
Maybe.
already have the plugin. Um, so I guess the question is Jason gonna make a better? Do we care if he's gonna make another platform?
Who?
And this Jason
I
Holtman
don't. It'll
guy.
be interesting to see what they're gonna do. Like, are they gonna regroup and re-release something Games for Windows Live 2 in the next couple of years?
And have it be a lot better, I hope.
I I don't know what their aim is. Like, in my opinion, to try to take on Steam without having a niche product is silly.
What if
Like, the only way to do it is the way Origin is done, by
just
making
their
games that people want and making it the only place that you can get it is there.
Yeah. What if
Or
though?
stuff like Good Old Games, which is fantastic.
Well, you just can't get those anywhere
Which,
else. Yeah.
I mean, their specialty is making old games run on your new machine.
So what if this though? How about
John thinks I'm a liar.
what if
There he is!
hired on but
God, I
he's
love
going to
those Simpsons
do
pictures.
cross-platform between the 360 and PS3, or between the 360 and the PC,
What do you mean?
like a digital distribution platform that is shared between the two PCs and Xbox.
Oh,
Where,
I'm sure that's the type of way it's going to go.
because I think that would be pretty interesting.
I I don't anticipate owning a Xbox One, an Xbox.
No, but if you did, you could play all your games there. Slash, you could play against people who play games there.
I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah. So, John, Windows 8.
I really don't like it. I don't even like. Okay, aside from the whole, I mean, okay, it's great for touchscreen. Don't get me wrong.
It
It's
is.
beautiful for that, and it's built for that. Um, but I feel like I've grown up a little bit since college, and I got away from the whole laptop thing, and I'm not into the touchscreen thing anymore. And tablets are great, but they can't do everything. And I just, I know, yes, Matt, you're right. You can switch to the desktop, and you can use the desktop all day long, and it's great. But it's still so bulky for what it is. Like, it's got that stupid user interface that just absolutely sucks, and I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. The whole thing makes me angry, and
I agree with you on the user interface. Like, if I could make it go away easily, like that would be great because I never use it.
I agree.
Like all the new stuff though that they've improved, like I mean, it's fast. The applications are fast. At least for me, I've had no major
I
issues.
haven't had any issues.
And maybe I'm a little biased only because I've had it, like I tried running it on a laptop for a while and it crapped out on me twice and it wound up being Windows 8 issues and I was just like, I'm done with this crap and gave up on it.
Going to be obviously your mileage may vary on these things.
Right, and I agree with you. The overall performance is improved, but I feel like Microsoft is taking a step in the wrong direction with that whole interface, and if they continue down that road, it's just going to get worse and worse. And
yeah, I think the biggest thing isn't. I don't know. I know they've got a lot of. I mean, obviously there are a lot of people that use this operating system, but the people that are most scared are holy crap, business users.
And Windows 7 killed me when that came out, and it was just, yes, it works just like XP on the networks and everything, but it is such a pain in the ass for a network administrator to run. Like, I just absolutely hate the fact that the login screen is not at all conducive to any sort of domain awareness. Like, you have to know either one domain for that computer or you have to know the computer's name, which I suppose you can easily get to, but it's just, it was so clean in XP, and I know that's a decade or more old, it's just like whatever, but I feel like Windows 8 is the ME, but like it's the next Windows ME, and I'm hoping to God that it...
But then you've got the other stuff, like people that are actual like administrators out there are saying like it makes it insanely easy to like Windows 8 is supposed to be an absolute awesomeness on a network to manage.
And I hadn't even tried it just because I was like, I mean, Windows 7 caught me by surprise, and I was like, what the fuck? And now Windows 8 has an issue where if somebody, all right, so if you have a network like, oh, let's just say, some company doesn't upgrade all of their machines, and you have roaming profiles, Windows 8 will fuck your roaming profiles up. Excuse my language.
No, we're not
a fan.
Language open podcast.
You can't roll back. So once a user who has their roaming profile logs on using a Windows 8 machine, it will update their profile for Windows 8, and then if they go back to log into a Windows 7 machine, that Windows 7 machine can no longer use the Windows 8 profile. Like it's not at all backwards compatible.
Well, but you have the same problem. You have the same problem with other software. I mean, yes, admittedly, the whole OS is now screwed, but you have the same problem with a lot of that business-type software, too. Like, at work, we're going through an upgrade process right now where we have to upgrade everybody at the same time because none of our old files our old program will not be compatible with new files. So we have to push everybody, all thousands of people at the same exact time.
And that's
And it
fine.
sucks.
That's fine if you want to do that all at the same time, but we're just upgrading to Windows 7 at work. And now
Yeah.
you're saying, all right, we're going to roll out Windows 8. And yes, Windows 7 will be supported into the unforeseen future, and that's great. And you get over all the login issues and whatever. I love Smart Card login with Windows 7. It's a beautiful system. But Windows 8 just, that comes along and you're like, all right, now we're going to screw everybody's profile up. And you can't even like systematically upgrade small groups of people, because if they have to work anywhere but at a Windows 8 machine, their profile's screwed. Either that or you just get rid of roaming profiles, which I'm all for, but I mean, yeah, I suppose you can just redirect folders and it's all good. But
See, I wouldn't really run into well, I guess if people out in the field are using different devices and having to log on to them, that would be an issue. But for somebody like me, I would make the switch to Windows 8 at work and be done. I never log on to any other machines.
Right. Same thing with me.
Okay, and that's fair.
I think we would definitely have cases where people are using different types of machines, like just old machines out in the field, this kind of thing.
Well, okay, let me just, can you imagine, for instance, Iowa State University? Let's say the College of Engineering goes, hey, we want to upgrade to Windows 8 machines.
First of all, every tenured professor's head would go.
Yeah. I mean, the training and corporate like culture issues aside, let's just assume there was no culture shock at all, and everybody was like,
I wish.
Let's go for it. Now you've got students who are moving from building to building to building using different lab computers. College of Engineering might say, yep, we're going to upgrade all our machines across the board, but who knows? LAS might be like, no, we don't have the money for it. We're going to stick with Windows 7 because we just did that.
Actually, that could happen because they operate fairly independently.
Yep. So I think Windows 8, that was a big fumble there. And as far as the business world goes, it's just not immediate user friendly. Once you get used to it, yes, it is. It has a lot of really cool updates and great features, and it's faster, and it's.
We'll see what happens. It'll be more interesting to see what happens when we actually start making the switch. We usually ride the curve pretty hard at the front, so I mean, we won't sit back on stuff.
I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what Microsoft's plan is after Windows 8, though. Because what if they were not really counting on businesses accepting Windows 8 right away, and because Windows 7 was only released 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And so, they knew that the majority of their businesses were on XP. They knew that by the time they released Windows 8, people were still just getting on Windows 7. And they're saying, well, we expect Enterprise to stay Windows 7 for X amount of time, and by then we're going to have a new whatever it is version for them. And it'll be Windows 8 Enterprise or Windows whatever Enterprise, and it won't look anything like the consumer-based version.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Entirely possible. Either that or they stick with Windows 7 for another decade and make billions off of it. And
or that.
Who knows? Or that, I mean, how long was XP around?
Have they announced Windows 7 discontinuation plans at all?
I don't think so.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Because, I get the feeling that Windows 7 is the XP of our era right now.
I agree. I mean, okay, so Windows XP initial release date was August 24th, 2001. So, and that was an awesome operating system. I absolutely love XP. But
I was running XP on my first computer that I brought to college, which was in 2006. So almost through 2007.
Yep.
Up until when they released Vista.
So, if you go to Microsoft's Windows website, they are saying that end of extended support for Windows 7 is going to end in January of 2020.
Yeah, so they're in it for the long haul for a while.
So they've got quite some time yet, and more likely than not, just like Windows XP, if this is what businesses are going to use, it's going to get extended beyond that too.
For sure. So, I don't know. I just, yeah. I'm just happy that I have enough bandwidth to join this little conversation. It's so much better than a cellular modem out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Let's see how much we can pay for these bits.
You have no idea. But, anyways.
Next up, this just came, I just saw this tonight. Time Warner Cable is going to allow customers to stream live TV on their 360s.
Oh.
But you still have to have a cable sub.
I hate cable.
I'm like, okay, they're headed in the right direction, and then I kept reading some more, and then they're like, oh, but it depends on what cable subscription you
Can
have.
I make my ridiculous requests of the night?
Sure.
What's that?
I want every show that I want to watch on Netflix in HD. That's what I want. I don't want to have to go to this site and that site and the other site and this person's site to fucking watch all these different TV shows. Like HBO stuff, god damn it! I love their shows, but I don't want to pay for cable just to get it, and I don't want to pay for another service like HBO Go. I already pay for Amazon Prime and Netflix, and what the hell else do I have?
I pay an insane amount of money. I figure I pay Comcast $274 a month.
I've got like the ultimate pack.
Well, because I wanted HBO and Showtime to get Dexter and Newsroom.
Can I go to Mediacom and just say, all right, I don't want any other channels except HBO because all the other channels fucking suck.
No, you can't.
The first cable company to come out with an a la carte model, I think, is going to make insane amounts of money.
It's not going to be the first one because the first one is going to get sued out of existence. The second one,
okay, you're right.
The second one that does it will probably do a little bit better.
Well, I think either Verizon or Google is close. I think they're the two closest to that model.
It feels just so disjointed on stuff. Like you can't really count on Netflix anymore to have your show, like because I mean they had South Park and then it went away, and so you're like, well, I want to watch South Park now. Well, but everything is becoming so wide. I want it to be nice and condensed. I want it to be Steam, but I want it to be Steam for my TV shows.
You see, that's why I keep paying for my Hulu subscription, because I find more shows on Hulu than I do on Netflix, and shows that are newer than what is on Netflix.
Now, if you've got Amazon Prime and Hulu Plus and Netflix,
I have all three.
You've pretty much got it covered.
I can't stand Hulu.
Blaine loves it. It's his favorite.
I love it. It's my favorite one.
I had it for like 3 months, and advertisements. Why am I paying to watch advertisements?
Because here, I don't mind it, because Hulu advertises house ads, and they will advertise shows that they have exclusives for or other shows that I might be interested in because they know what I've been watching, and they will suggest shows to me that I find interesting, and so I keep coming back to Hulu because they keep telling me shows I'm interested in watching, where Netflix, I watch a show and I say, okay, I'm done. Now what? And their recommendation engine on Netflix, I find, is a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not very good.
So that's why I like Hulu's. Even if I'm watching commercials, I'm getting more value because I'm finding newer content that I like.
Yeah.
I accidentally clicked yes that a commercial was relevant to me one time, and then it did the same goddamn thing every commercial. And it pissed me off so bad.
I will admit that
it wasn't relevant to me, and I misclicked.
Their product commercials are terrible because they don't have very many of them. Yeah. But when they run their house ads, I don't mind watching because I do find a lot more shows on there that I like.
So who knows anything about HBO Go?
I love HBO Go.
How much is it?
It's like $20 a month.
Well, no, it's included with HBO.
It's included.
Okay, but I don't pay for HBO.
So you have to pay for HBO.
So
Yeah.
I can't, I see, and that's my fucking problem.
Yes, I agree.
I want to watch Game of Thrones, and I want to watch the newsroom as it's coming out, but I don't want to do it on their goddamn schedule.
So yeah, and I don't actually watch cable. I pay an insane amount of money for cable so that I can watch it all online.
Right.
I've got my Roku and my Apple TV, and I buy most of my shows from. Well, I did buy it from Apple, but I've started buying from Amazon just because Apple's distribution network is terrible.
Yeah.
I've started buying just Blu-rays on Amazon. Fuck it.
Why
Why
don't you just buy the digital media, Matt?
I don't like the way Amazon does digital media, though, because once you buy it, unlike Apple lets you download it and you've got your copy on your computer.
Right.
Amazon, as far as I can tell, does not allow you to do that. Like, you can stream it from their site. You can watch it on pretty much anything you want to watch it on. I mean, I could probably...
You can actually get the content.
Yes, there's no physical... If I'm not connected to the internet in some way, I can't watch it. And
unless you have a Kindle Fire.
Unless you have a Kindle Fire, and actually their iPad app allows you to download content, but it's within the app, so you can't extract that content. I'm just not a fan, but I guess sacrifices. So.
See, are you kidding me? So I have Mediacom, and I don't pay for it. I mean, I quote-unquote pay for it. It's in my internet price. Like, they were like, we're going to give you this because you're paying for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And because I specifically told him, I don't want any of your cable. If it's going to cost me anything, remove it. I want internet, that's it. But it still came with this. I mean, how much is it, like, how much it would, what would I have to pay to get HBO? Which is really the only channel that I want.
An insane amount of money.
The problem with the pricing for HBO is because it's not ever going to be part of a basic cable package, so you have to pay for a basic cable package. Then on top of that, it's not going to be a tier 1 service either, so you usually have to buy another package and then another package to get HBO. So you now have basic cable plus another package plus another package. Now you finally have HBO Go because that's now included in it. And so now you're now paying for 3 separate packages basically just to watch something.
I guess it wouldn't be so bad if I had like 3 people in the same house that were like, all right, we want to pay for HBO. All right, well, you're going to split the cost.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that if you want to do that. But I mean, I get better quality on my Blu-rays. I am supporting the TV show by buying it on Blu-ray.
Yep.
The cable companies are entirely based on forcing you to pay for things that you don't want to get to the things that you do want, to support the things that you don't want.
Which fucking grinds my gears.
So, like, okay,
that's why they can advertise 200 channels, yet nothing is on.
Right, every 6 months.
If I were to go to McDonald's and I wanted a fucking double Whopper, you can't get that.
You have to give it behind a paywall.
If I went to McDonald's and I wanted a double quarter pounder with cheese, but they said, all right, you gotta buy the first 2 tiers of cheeseburger first. You gotta buy this mixed thing over here and that mixed thing over there, and each one of those is $10. And then you can pay us another $5, which is pretty cheap, by the way, to get the double Whopper.
Well, and every 6 months.
Oh my God, they're gonna make so much money when they figure out they can do that.
That's why every 6 months I call Comcast and I redo my whole contract. Because I apparently have a phone line to this place. The only reason I have a phone line to this place is because adding the phone line and taking the phone line off brings my cost down. So every 6 months I either add one or I take it away, and it brings my cost back down to a reasonable level so that I can have HBO Go and and Showtime. And then on top of that, I have the upgraded internet so that I have fast enough speed on this stupid island to be able to watch all the things that I want to watch online.
Wake Island.
No, not on Wake Island. I'm on Whidbey Island, but close. So,
how is Google Fiber? Can you get HBO on there? I assume on their TV because they do TV service.
Maybe.
I don't know if they do.
Somebody look into this because Google Fiber is fucking cheap as hell.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you can.
God, I'm
Google
just gonna
Fiber
move
TV gets HBO and
Yep.
Cinemax. So yes, you
So
can
for-
get
that with the
HBO.
standard Google Fiber TV package.
No, you have to pay an additional $20 a month.
And do you know why I think that is? I think it's because like the Oprah channel and whatever these other stupid, ridiculous channels are that nobody ever watches, Lifetime, for example, they have some goofy contract with HBO that says you have to
Yeah.
sponsor us.
Yep.
There's
Dude.
got to be something goofy going on.
So how much? So say I wanted Google Fiber. I live in Kansas City. I want Google
Nice.
Fiber, and I don't now.
Oh,
If you did.
If you
I'm
did,
in Ankeny,
hypothetically
so I
speaking.
I don't anticipate leaving Ankeny anytime soon. Which, by the way, I really hope Google Fiber comes to Des Moines and kicks Mediacom in the nuts. Like, I want it to happen so bad.
Hey, you're telling me I just found out that I have a data cap now for doing nothing.
Yeah, I've had
awesome.
a data cap for the past year.
I haven't because I signed up early enough, and now they're like, oh yeah, hey, remember how we told you we weren't going to give you a data cap? Just kidding, you got one now.
Call and make sure you get your plan price lowered.
Yeah, I still pay less than what their new pricing is.
Okay. Anyway,
'Cause
so
I'm
how much
still
would
on
would it cost me on Google Fiber to end up with HBO?
Whatever the cost of Google Fiber is plus $20.
How
you
much
need
is
a
that?
forensic accountant to figure that out.
Hold on, I'm trying. Wait, here we go. Gigabit plus TV is $120 a month.
So $140 a month.
How much would it cost me on Mediacom?
I pay
$2,000.
$274, but
I don't know what the media account.
Let me look it up. Also, your Mediacom internet service is going to suck ass, by the way. You're going to be nowhere near gigabit speed.
Oh yeah, of course.
And you know what? They would have the audacity to tell you that you don't need that kind of speed. Fuck you! You don't tell me what I need. I tell you what I need. That's a fucking job. Don't even.
So to go along with this, while we're on the topic, ESPN has apparently been talking with internet TV companies to do some sort of live streaming of their shows and stuff like that. So they've apparently been talking with Apple, Intel, Google.
Son of a bitch. I wasn't responding to what you were saying. I was being mad
Oh,
that
I
I had to
figured.
put in my address.
But apparently they're saying that they're willing to talk to these companies and do some sort of online streaming, but they have to be willing to offer it with a package of channels. So if you wanted it, you'd be signing up for ESPN plus whatever it is, Spike, Lifetime, USA Today, I don't know. That's not a real channel, but
It's not a real place.
no, it's
there we
probably
go.
because of deals they have with the cable companies.
right, it's the same thing, and it just sucks.
And I don't know why these good channels pigeonhole themselves into that, other than they probably wouldn't get carried by any of the cable companies if they didn't.
Well, I wondered how much of it is actually those channels and how much of it is actually the ISP, or not the ISPs, but the cable companies themselves.
Okay.
Saying, well, we know that we have this channel and it sucks, but you have to get it when you get the good channels because we're a bunch of dicks.
According to the Mediacom page that I'm on now,
Which will change in a week.
HBO, I'm doing a control F for HBO on this motherfucker. It's only in 2 places, and those 2 places are in the same pack, like the letters H, B, and O. It's the Elite Pack, and that's $140 a month for the first year, and download speeds up to 30 megabits per second.
That sucks.
That's awful.
That is pretty terrible.
Like, why would I pay more for... I mean, my primary concern is internet speed, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have more
If fiber
TV,
were available, I would gladly pay $140 a month for gigabit and all of their TV shit. That'd be great.
oh yeah.
Now, people that don't care about internet speed so much would obviously disagree with me. But
until they have 30 megabits per second, and then they go back to 1, and then they're like, what the fuck happened?
Let's not even get into quality of service.
When was the last time Mediacom went out on you?
Actually, it's
A
been
week ago?
last week, I think, 2 weeks ago.
I would say on average I have 1 to 2 issues a month with Mediacom.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty not acceptable in my opinion, but
It's
whatever.
pretty terrible.
Like,
The best part is when I come home from work, I have nothing to do, I don't have cable, so obviously I want to sit and watch
yeah,
something
and
on
then
the
your fucking internet's broken.
And my internet's broken, and I just sit here and I call Mediacom and I'm like, guys, I just came home, I have nothing to do, fix it now.
Start lifting, bro. So, okay, but I've complained a lot, but I will say I have Mediacom's 50 meg. I think I pay way too much for it. But when it works well. It's fast, the latency's good.
Can honestly say I've never had any issues with Comcast's
Yeah, I've never
internet
used them.
dropping out. They're horribly expensive,
Yeah.
What speed do you have?
but 50 meg. So,
At
Well-
your place where you're at now?
yep.
The only thing that I've had a problem
Mediacom
with...
is offering. I don't know whether they offer it yet. I told them to put me on a list to let me know when they offer their 105 to our area.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I don't know what the top I can get is, but I was not willing to pay anymore. So, and they
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
they make it reasonable for the first 6 months, but after
Yeah.
that, the price just skyrockets, and so that's why you just have to change your plan every 6 months, and when you move, well,
That's ridiculous.
yeah, it is what it is. But
How often are you moving?
me, every 3 years or so. But
Are
I've
you-
also had Mediacom, I've had Cox, I've had Comcast, I've had some random no name in between. I forget who it was in Jacksonville, but
Who'd you have in the desert? The government?
yeah, that was Air Force. Well, actually, who was that provider? It was a satellite provider. Oh, what are they called? Hold on, I
Hughes?
can tell you. No.
Blue Rhino or something?
It's by the same folks that make the Blue Sky or whatever that's called.
Sky Blue?
Yeah.
Something like that? No,
But the
Blue...
latency was just great.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. It was, you know what it was great for? IRC. I really got back into the old IRC days. You know? I loved it.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
Brought me back to my dial-up AOL, bring up AOL, open up Merc Chat, and hit up Freenode. So, good stuff. But
Hashtag middle of nowhere.
pretty much. So,
Hashtag sand in my ass.
yeah. Well,
Jeez.
there are worse places to be, I suppose.
How many years have you been out of school now?
What, 3?
Is it 3 now? How long do you have left?
A lot. About
Why a
7.
lot?
7-ish.
Why so many?
Well, you figure the first 2 years out of school, I was doing absolutely nothing on the government's dime. I was in school in Pensacola and Jacksonville. So basically, I was living in Florida, working, I'd say a 9 to 5, but realistically, it was like a 10 to noon.
But that
3 days a week.
But that's training.
Yes, there was a lot of training involved. There was a lot of drinking involved. And then the problem is my contract didn't start until I was qualified to do my job.
Oh, so you didn't even start accruing time
Until
counted.
this year.
Wow.
So, yeah, it is what it is. And I've got a guaranteed job for the next 7 years, and I'm making decent money, and I can sit around and do nothing on most evenings. And I get to see the world, so hey, why not?
Yeah.
What is it my boss told me? Front row seat to see. Oh, how did he put it? Something about front row seat to see the news before it happens, or something like that.
Mm.
Are you have you watched The Newsroom on HBO at all?
I love that show.
Dude, that show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Game of Thrones, but I think I like the way The Newsroom does their dialogue. I like the guy that writes The Newsroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. It's so fast.
You know, I feel like Game of Thrones was completely ruined for me.
Why is that?
So while I was in the desert.
Be careful not to ruin anything. Blaine hasn't seen it.
I don't
okay,
care.
here's the thing. I hadn't really seen it, and I still really haven't seen it. I was supposed to watch the first season while I was out in the desert, but our download speeds were pretty terrible. So you'd start the download day 1, and then day 2 you'd restart it because it was terrible and it screwed up somewhere. And then day 4 you'd actually get an episode. And so I'd turn on my iPad, I'd turn on the little wireless thing, and I'd let it run all day for a couple weeks. And I'd get it, and the iPad was absolutely terrible about numbering episodes. And so when I thought I had the first 3 episodes and I could start watching it, I'd watch, and I wound up watching episodes 3, 7, and 9.
Oh, that's
and I had
oh, dude,
no idea what was going on. And I was
so...
just like, this is terrible. I can't watch this show. I feel like I'm constantly in the middle of something, and my buddy who...
Because you were.
My buddy who'd seen, like, all of it, he comes over and he looks at it and he goes, how are you not following this? This show is the easiest thing to follow in the whole world. And I'm like, nope, can't do it, don't get it. I'm not watching this.
What was really bad is you landed on episode 9, and within Game of Thrones, the TV show, episode 9 every season is the holy fucking shit episode.
Yeah, well, I stopped watching halfway through because I was just like, I don't get anything that's going on here. I can't do it.
Oh my god, look at the 46 cents of interest my HSA made.
Yeah, nice.
Congratulations.
I also realized the government has their hooks in me for a really long time because I have this great retirement plan, but it's the government's retirement plan, and in order for me to continue putting money into it, I have to maintain government employee. Like, I have to continue to be a government employee.
Will you re-up after you're 7?
I have no idea. We'll see. We'll see who's offering me more money.
You could just keep going and retire at 40.
I could. That wouldn't be so bad, because even though the time
Is military service still pensioned?
Yes, it is, and we're grandfathered in, so cha-ching.
Yeah.
But
have they started offering, like, I know they're pensioned, but can you do more contemporary methods of saving, like 401ks and stuff like that?
yes and no. Like, we have them, and I put money into mine, but they won't match anything.
Because they're giving you a crazy pension when you...
Right.
Plus, when it comes time to re-up, they're probably going to offer you so much money for a re-signing bonus that it's ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous. And actually, my pay right now isn't terrible. Like, yeah, I don't know. But there are worse places I could work. I'm sure you guys make more than me, but...
I don't know about that.
Figure 3 months out of my year last year were tax-free, so that was nice. Yeah.
What makes it tax-free? Deployment?
Not just deployment, but being deployed to certain areas. I mean, yeah, it's complicated, but there are certain things that make it tax-free. The IRS has a list of areas that you can go that make it tax-free.
Yeah, if your life is in danger, we probably better make it tax-free.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. So, which I'm cool with, and I actually made more money when I was being taxed, though, just because our per diem was insane. But, you know, and then I can put all my stuff in storage, and I'm not paying rent, and I'm not paying any bills, and so I just wind up sitting on tons of money, and it works out well. So, you know, it is what it is. But
military is definitely not a bad way to go.
Back to the cable companies and how we all hate them.
We pretty much beat that horse to death.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about getting like, I don't know, an anti-Comcast poster above my computer so I can just look up and be like, oh yeah, I still hate them.
I'm frustrated with the companies, but I'm mostly just frustrated that I have no good alternative, and that's what they base their business off of.
Yep. So, and any good alternative that comes along, they'll just, like you said, sue them out of existence. So,
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard for someone to really get into that market, I think.
I'm now running on reserve battery power.
uh-oh.
Are you saying we should be done?
Well, I have 13% left, but it's going to drain pretty fast. So yeah, we should probably at least wrap up the.
All right. Well, we can wrap this up. I don't know. There's not. It's been really kind of slow. I don't know. Unless
We got to talk to John though. That's a bonus.
it's true.
Hi, guys. It's a
That's
pleasure
like a
being here.
First in a while.
Yeah,
Is this
thanks
the
for
first time
inviting
you- Oh, it's...
Gerald Thurman's going to watch this bitch and go, "No way!"
Say
Yeah.
what?
I'm a little disappointed I didn't have my Rolling Rock in hand, but
Oh man, I don't have any of that left.
oh well.
It's
So.
disappointing. Well, I think that'll call it a night for tonight. We'll be. You gonna be around in 2 weeks, John?
I am. I absolutely am.
We'll put you on the list.
Sweet. Thanks,
We'll
guys.
put you on the list.
You can be one of
Don't leave.
Or between
Lane's just gonna
one
make it off
and
air.
Nice.
So, all right.